All right, everyone. Welcome to another Buzz Slayers interview. Today, we are here with Isiah Driessen of Isiah and the New People. How are you, dude?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing excellent, man. I'm doing excellent. I'm really excited. I'm familiar with some of your stuff from one of your previous projects, Salmon Run, I believe it was, and that stuff was really good too. But I like what you're doing with Isiah and the New People. It's like a little bit different. It's a little more cinematic feeling to me. The new stuff. I like that. I dig that. Where did this come from, man? Like, what made you start this project up?
I think that's kind of part of it. I like that cinematic kind of style,
Oh yeah.
dramatic, and I think just kind of needed that in order to like properly express myself in my music. So I was kind of doing the Salmon Run thing, but that was a little bit more of like a folksy
Yeah.
guitar picking, you know, and it just that was what it was in that time, and the just kind of felt right to start this new project.
How'd you find these people? Did you like run into them? Did you know them from previous stuff or?
Just kind of just kept randomly meeting Rick, the drummer. Like he drums for a bunch of different bands in the area, so I just kind of met him through that. And then another person introduced me to Alec, the guitar player, and then Duffy, the bass player, showed up at one of my solo gigs, and then I just like randomly got booked like last minute at a place in town, and then he was just so happened to be there, and then he emailed me, and he's been out of music for like 15 years, but he came and played with us. We needed someone to fill in. Now he shows up every week. And it's just kind of funny how it all fell into place.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And what about the dude that play? What about the guy that like kind of lays down some of the leadish guitar, not lead guitar, but some of the electric guitar stuff in there?
That was just through like other musicians just kind of
Yeah.
suggesting.
So is this like a band that you have like solid, or are these guys that you just kind of used to record with or used to play some shows with, or is it like a full band action for you?
It is now it is a full band, but it took a while to get to that. We kind of had people come together, but we would there's like some bigger festivals in town, and we were booked for that. So like we'd practice like once or twice, and then we'd play, and then we'd see each other next year.
Right.
And then the recording, the EP that we put out, that was just come into the studio, lay down something, and let's just try to get something out there. But now we finally like we have a group, we're together, like we're practicing all the time, and like we're really excited making music.
Yeah.
Not on.
Yeah, hell yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I really like that EP that you guys put out before, and then your cover of When Doves Cry. I was like, what? I was like, what, dude? I was like, that's an endeavor right there, covering a track like that, man. That takes a lot of, you know what I mean? Like that's not an easy track to cover. That's like a solid track to cover, man. And I've heard a few covers of it here and there throughout like probably my entire lifespan, but this was a very different style. I really loved how you did it. And even with the Salmon Run stuff, I think that your vocals are really the powerhouse kind of area of what you're doing, because you can get kind of deep and a little bit baritone when you want to, but you also can sing very high. And when you sing high, it's like a lot of times you still use your chest voice, and then sometimes you like float into your head voice sometimes when you're singing the higher notes. But it's always got like this emotion behind it. You have a sick vibrato. And so what I've heard from what you put out is just the EP. I think, was it Boxes is what it was called, the EP? Yeah, Boxes with 1,000. Yeah, these songs were sick. And then the cover. But then I heard, there's a couple other stuff. If you go to, Isiahandthenewpeople.com, there's videos up there as well. Of tracks that aren't released yet. So, right now, Did You Run is like the main point of focus right now, because that's what's coming up next. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. And that was really cool too. One of the things I liked about that was the video, because my big question for that is whether or not you guys actually recorded that song live like that. Did you do that? You did.
Yeah.
Wow, man. It's incredible. Like I love seeing like the video is just like, it's cool because it's like watching you guys live. I really like that a lot, because it gives it like a very kind of, the whole song has like a, like I said, it's folk rock kind of, but it's a little experimental, a little expansive. And then I saw another track, Fire in the Hills, right? And
Mhm.
what's that from? Because it's not on boxes, right? No.
No,
So what?
yeah.
So what's the deal? So are these? Can you tell me? Are these all kind of part of like an upcoming thing, like an EP that's releasing, or?
Well, the Fire in the Hills. I mean, those videos will probably just be what I don't know if I'll ever release it as just an audio. Probably that's just kind of it.
Oh, okay.
Fire in the Hills was kind of just like it was really random. Well, that was still kind of something I was recording with Salmon Run,
Oh, okay.
and then so Ryan, who was in Salmon Run, he did like the guitar and all that stuff. He doesn't play with us now. He's
Right.
got like just different stuff going on. And but anyways, I was like down in Florida helping out my uncle do some work and stuff like that. And I've like been down there a few times and I played music, and so there's like this little like neighborhood of people down there that know me from music and playing and stuff like that, and they like are gung ho about it, and they're like wanted to make a video. They wanted to make a video just in general. I'm like, I got a song we can make a video to. And so they're like, we'll order costumes and I got a gun and blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And then
Wow.
we were down, then we just like filmed it over the course of a few nights. We had like golf carts, used the golf carts as a light. We just used our phones and all that. And everybody was just a bunch of amateurs from the neighborhood. It was a lot of fun to make.
The video's ridiculous. It's so good. Like it's really cool. Like it's really like, crazy, but it's like a really cool video. Like all the shots were really well done. Everyone in it's really well done. The whole like little lake part, with the body of water coming out of the water and the outfit, like the whole thing was wild, but it strangely fit the song, which was so, isn't that crazy? Like how it strangely just works so well with the track itself. It was a wild video. I wanted to just, because I wasn't sure because it was on AsiahandTheNewPeople.com. I was like, oh, is that a track that's part of that? Or wasn't sure. So what about Did You Run? Are you going to release Did You Run as a single?
Yeah.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
And then, so, this track, so, and I also noticed that, you guys are playing with the band. You have some show dates in January and February and March, right? You guys are performing live?
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
And it's all the same people when you perform live, right?
Yeah, and every once in a while, Jason, who's the saxophone player, will jump on with us.
Nice. That's extra fun.
He's got a few different projects right now, so it's just kind of we're trying to get things aligned, and because we're new, we don't have the gigs to kind of So it's just kind of that in between. But so sometimes he plays with us, but he's also like really busy. But this is kind of like how things are moving.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, players like that, instrumentation like that, like sax players, and in my opinion, even drummers tend to be in a multitude of projects at a time, So in terms of, so we kind of get how you found each other and everything. So the recording of Did You Run? So that was actually recorded live. Was the video that you took though, when you shot that video, maybe that was like a number of run throughs, right? Or was that one straight?
Yeah, so he set up 3 or 4 different cameras.
Yeah.
And then, I think we ended up doing like 3 takes. But it was just, it was all from that one, and then you turn off the camera, start over the takes, turn on the cameras, so it's just that.
Right. One of the things I wanted to ask you in particular, because I mean, even with Salmon Run and everything, these are your projects, obviously these are kind of like your babies. Did you start off with like just kind of your own solo stuff ever, or do you have like a record like that, or?
Well, I mean, When Doves Cry was a solo song,
right?
But that other than that, so no, like when I was playing with Salmon Run, I was just singing, and I actually didn't even know how to play guitar. So
really,
yeah. So my friend would play guitar, I would sing, and then I'm like, okay, I would just slowly, one gig I would play a song. Now I'm playing 3 songs. Now I just kept developing it.
Right.
Then eventually I was like, if I want to be a bona fide, legitimate musician, I need to learn how to play guitar. I need to understand all this.
Yeah.
So I took some time. I'm like, I just need to focus on the solo. So I played live solo, but I'm not like trying to release any solo content or anything.
First of all, how long have you been singing? Have you been singing since you were like a little kid or something?
No, actually, so I was living out. I live in Wisconsin now, but I was living out in Portland.
Yeah.
And it was like I had no, I had never even thought about being a musician ever in my entire life until like I was living in Portland and I literally was taking vocal lessons, just like literally more so because like a little bit of curiosity, but more so I'm like I just want to get comfortable like being in public and speaking in public, and like I'm just
Right.
gonna put myself in this thing where if I force myself to sing in front of people, I'll be able to speak in front of people. And it was more like a business development professional thing. And then I'm like,
Right.
I fucking every time I go sing, I'm like in a good mood and I really enjoy this. And then so I just kind of kept going with it and then played an open mic and then we got booked and all of a sudden I'm like, all right, now we gotta write songs, and then it just kind of kept developing.
Like what about like musical influences, bands that changed your life or artists that changed your life? And it doesn't have to be singers or guitar player. It could just be like maybe your mom or your dad played records when you were a kid and this like changed. You're like all of a sudden something was like, whoa, it changed you a little bit. You have any like heavy musical influences like that? Give me
Um
your top five, man. Give me your five of your biggest. I know it's a toughie, but give me five of
yeah.
your biggest musical influences, like if you can.
Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily know like going back because there's so many different things, but like I have like recently and intentionally like just listened to certain artists because I like their stuff, and so like Dire
Yeah.
Straits, I listened to Dire
Yeah.
Straits all winter. Like last year is like all I listened to, and like right now I'm like listening to Bob Seger. Uh,
Yes.
I'm liking that just kind of the energy and stuff like that. Other ones like I know it's kind of weird, but like growing up, I listened to a lot of like weird folk and like Irish like Riverdance.
That's
So I
cool.
really enjoyed like that rhythmic kind of like that dramatic, like my
Yeah.
like and then it's like a big big production or whatever.
Yeah. It's
So
like
like that
theatrical.
was
Yeah.
very theatrical. Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Neil
That's
Young.
cool. Yes. There you go. I knew something. I knew it. Bob Seger is definitely I could hear in there. I also find it very interesting that you covered a Prince song. Where did the idea for the Prince cover come from? Just like whatever or
Well, like the emotion behind it, I guess.
oh yeah.
I was at a I so like right after actually like so I do this festival called the Project, and like I built like a venue on my property, and it's like there's a big story to it, but I live on this historic property in Wisconsin, and right down the road from where I live is where they signed the Treaty of Cedars, which is when the native people were forced off the land. So it's like a pretty significant place. Like if you can imagine like it used to be all forest and the rivers weren't dammed and there was, wild rice and whatever. And then all of a sudden, they sign that treaty, everybody's forced to leave, and then they dam it, they put up these paper mills, and, so it's a big thing.
Wow.
So the last time I played with Salmon Run was the first year I did that festival.
In terms of the the venue, so into the land that you're on right now, okay. You're saying that you do this, you put on this show and you kind of build a venue on your property to do that?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
like a festival, yeah, yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's so cool. Like so you do you have other people play with you there? Other artists?
Yeah, so it's like it's a 2-day thing in September. It's kind of like to honor the harvest season. Kind of just enjoy that, and then yeah. So it's like we usually do like 3 bands on Friday night, then like Saturdays like 6 or 7 bands.
It sounds amazing. Like it sounds awesome. I think that's really cool that you actually put this on. It's kind of like how long ago was it when you were in Portland? Like how many years ago were you in Portland and you were like, I'm gonna, teach myself to sing and get in front of crowds and stuff. How many years ago was that?
Uh, I think like 2016.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I since that begun in 2016, that's not that long ago. It's like less than 10 years ago. So you've been at this technically less than 10 years. And look at all the stuff that you've accomplished in terms of releasing music. You know what I mean? And now putting on and doing your performances on like your homeland in Wisconsin and that kind of thing. Like you've really been able to make music such a massive part of your life by way of not just releasing and making music, but putting on festivals on your own property, dude. How do you do that? Do you build a stage and invite bands, or is that how you do it?
Yeah, so my property is up on the hill and it overlooks the river, and I built a venue. I built a stage. It's actually around the trees. There's a couple big mature walnut trees. So the stage is built around that, and then I built 3 terraces so that people could like sit and stuff like that. It was like, I think I did it last spring, and I ended up hauling down, I think it was like 7 quad axles worth of dirt just by wheelbarrow. So it took me over 30 days, up and down, up and down, up and down, just hauling dirt and then tamping it, which was the worst. Like, you think you're almost done, and then you have to compact the dirt.
I've never heard of that before, honestly. It's honestly not trying to sound cheesy, but it's a beautiful thing. Like what all the work that you put into it, dude. Are you on your phone right now, the camera?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you flip? Can I see the property, or you do not want to show that or anything?
Might be able to. I'm not sure if this will. Can you see the stage?
Yep, I see it.
And then like that terrace.
Wow.
Maybe. So that's kind of it. And then there's more to it. I got like there's more to the properties.
So when does Did You Run when is Did You Run coming out? When is that set to release?
I don't really know. We just kind of like just whipped that video out real quick because we wanted to get something out there so we can get booked for shows, and we don't really have much plan. We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. We do a lot of our stuff is like not really online, and because I do the festival, I make like real personal connections with people in the community, and that's kind of how we promote most of our stuff. It's like we're friends with the people at the coffee shop, we're friends with the butcher,
Yeah.
And that's it's more fun that way, I think, than the social media route.
Oh yeah.
So
it's more real that way. That's the thing. It's more fun, it's grassroots, and it's more real. And that's the kind of where you're at. And I think that works for you. I think that's a thing that actually works well for you. And people in other places and other situations have to network also, in different ways. This is something I go over with bands all the time. They got to network. People don't understand the importance of networking. But again, you're someone that's different. The networking aspect, I think, kind of comes naturally from your community for you. But your work comes into things like lugging, like building, stages, and like that's where your work comes in, and that's where you get your reward from is you know what I mean? Just the sense of community, and just the sense of I'm doing this for not just you don't really just do it for yourself. And that's kind of cool. I like that you do this for other people too. And you also present an opportunity for other bands and other artists to perform with you on the same stage. You know what I mean? And share that kind of those vibes and get their stuff out there too in front of people. So you're doing a lot for yourself, but you're really doing a lot for the community and for other bands and other artists by putting on these shows. Are you doing it this next year too?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
You should.
Yep.
You should always do it. I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing what you're doing, is just keep putting that together. So Did You Run? All right. So there's no set release date for Did You Run. That's cool. Is there anything else you're working on past that? Any other new material?
We do have another recording. We record 2 songs that night. Just put that one out. They're gonna look the same video wise, but it's a totally different song. We're just gonna wait till after the holidays, probably right around New Year's or something.
Thank you for taking some time to talk with me, man. I really appreciate it.
Come down.